Question number 10 is the significance question. Does my dream benefit others? There's a book I would encourage you to read if you haven't read it. It's called Halftime by Bob Buford. Bob's a wonderful friend of mine, and basically what he says in essence is that about halfway in our life we begin to ask ourselves important questions. They're going to help determine how we finish our life. And I'm going now to the paragraph I have in your notes, the ability to answer yes to the significant question, does my dream benefit others, has come in stages for me. This may be the same for you. Take a look at how it has unfolded in my life, represented by these three statements. Statement number 1, I want to do something significant for myself. I know that seems selfish, but it's not. It starts with, I want to do something significant for myself. I want to have a dream that's significant for me. It's like when you're on the commercial airline and you get ready to take off and they're doing you the instructions. And what they say, if you have to get the oxygen mask, what do? Take care of yourself before you take care of your children. Well, what are you doing? You said, well, I'm more important than my kids. No, they know this. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your kids. So in this whole area of significance, I want to do something significant for myself. Here's what I'm telling you. That's where it starts. Now, if it stays there, you're immature. But it starts there. Secondly, I want to do something significant for others. Last year, I wrote a book that had a profound impact upon my life. I've given it out to a lot of people. Some of them just absolutely thank me for it, and some of them think it's not worth reading. You know, reading's a personal choice, but there's a book about Mother Teresa that entitled, and I have it in your notes, Come Be My Light. It's the private writings of the Saint of Calcutta. And when Mother Teresa, don't read them yet. Look up here. You're starting to read those. What she said. Cut that out. You cut that out. Mother Teresa never thought her writings would be public. In fact, as she would write, she would ask them to destroy the letters. But they didn't destroy the letters. And so these weren't written for you to read and say how amazing she was. These were really written for a time in her life that she was going through to people that were overseers in the church. And this is, when I talk about something significant for others, here's what I want you to read with me. I don't know what the success will be. What happened, her overseer said, if you start this mission, how will you know if it's successful? But she said, if missionaries of charity have brought joy to one unhappy home, made one innocent child from the street keep pure for Jesus, one dying person die in peace with God, don't you think your grace, it would be worthwhile offering everyone for just that one, because that one would bring great joy to the heart of Jesus. She also said, a day without doing something for others is a day not worth living. Wow. I want to do something significant for myself. I want to do something significant for others. And thirdly, I want to do something significant with others. I have a wonderful friend, Florence Littauer, who kind of gives the proper sequence of how a dream matures and how you get fulfilled. And I give this to you. She says, first of all, you have to dare to dream. You've got to have courage to dare to even dream and to begin to share that dream with others. Secondly, you have to prepare the dream. You know, the setup determines the success. Then you have to wear the dream. You got to put it on. It's not something that you put on and put off. It's something that you are daily. You know what? The dream becomes who you are, not what you want. And fourthly, you've got to repair the dream. Got to keep fixing it. Gets holes, doesn't it? Vision leaks. It really does. It leaks. Isn't that true? Dreams leak. Yeah, they do. Start off big and reality hits. Some of the air goes out, huh? And then you finally share the dream. Then you pass it on to others. Let me just say one more thing about fulfillment that's not in your notes, that in wrapping this up, and then I want to do one conclusion page with you, and then we're done. All my life is very simple. All I want to do is add value to others. In fact, when I die, if they just put on my tombstone, he added value to people, I'm very happy, because that's all I've ever wanted to do. And every day, because I've made that my goal, that's my dream, I've begun to see the reality of it. And of course, if you've stayed on that dream for a long period of time, that reality and the fulfillment becomes amazingly increased as you go. So when I was coming out here to teach you this lesson and do the training for you, and for the training for many that will watch it, I left Atlanta. And I was flying to Dallas to change and come here to Las Vegas. Okay. So when I got to the airport in Atlanta, in the kind of the waiting area before you get aboard the plane, I sat down and started to do a little reading, and a guy and his wife kind of across from me interrupted me and said, "You're John Maxwell, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm John." And Eric, her husband, said, I read everything you've got. I said, "You read everything I've got?" He said, "Yeah." He's a major leader in AFLAC, and he said, I read everything you've got. And in fact, he said, "Let me prove it." And he reached in his briefcase, and he had the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And he said, "Would you sign it for me?" And I said, "I'd be glad to sign it for you." And he said, "John," he said, "you have no idea what you've done for my career." So I'm on the plane, and people are boarding the plane now, and a lady sees me and stops and says, I'm doing your 360-degree leader DVD for my company right now. We're all going through it together." And she said, "I want to thank you." And I got off the plane in Dallas, and I had just enough time to get something to eat, so I was get something to eat, and a guy came over, and he works for an insurance company, and young guy named Brad, and he said, "Do you mind if I interrupt for a second?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, I just came from our national convention. There are 147 agencies, and we're number 3. And he said, "I used to be number 140. And again, he said, I want to tell you, thank you for your books." And in fact, he said, "Are you going to be here I said, "Well, I'm going to be here till I'm done." And he left me, and he went over to a bookstore and bought one of my books and came back, and I signed it for him. And then I got on the plane to come out here. Now here's very simple. Here's what I want you to understand. Here's what I want you to see. If you live the dream, if the dream is not only something you want to happen to you, but the dream is something that happens within you. You got me? The dream is not just something you reach toward. The dream is something that lives within you every day. It's who you are. It's what you believe. It's what you will become. If that happens to you, you're going to enjoy all the process. You're going to enjoy the good days. You're going to enjoy the bad days. You're going to enjoy the days when you think, "I was born for this," and you're going to enjoy the days when you say, "I wasn't born for anything."